Mountains, like people, don't differ so much, whether they're in Austria or whether they're about 5,000 miles westward in Aspen, Colorado, where they're working on new trails for a world championship meet. Don Morgan heads up the trail crew and ski patrol at Aspen. Over in Italy, Zeno Colo makes his living cutting trees for building and for fuel. But these trees are being felled to clear a new slalom course at the Colorado resort. 100 men tailoring the slopes for skiers, breaking up the rock, and laying new telephone lines for the press. A brand new downhill course is being carved out of the mountains. What cannot be bulldozed easily is blasted. After the blast, new trails are scooped out of the earth. This king-size slope has been nicknamed Niagara. Those boulders show where the skiers will be racing down when snow falls. The crisp autumn air of Aspen is full of wood smoke as trail crews burn off the piles of brush and logs. As winter nears, the work is done. The rest is up to Mother Nature. And right on schedule, the snow blankets the Colorado terrain. Racers of 14 nations arrive at the little town for the first ski championship ever held in America, the FIS meet of 1950. FIS standing for the International Ski Federation. A pilot's view of Aspen and the World Championship courses. The runs have been well packed with snow. Everything is in readiness. The flags of 32 member nations of the FIS fly over the Hotel Jerome in Aspen. The town had its first heyday back in the 80s and 90s when this old post office was built. Now there's a new boom with rich pay dirt for wise investors. And while they practice, we'll look at the course. Here is an air view of the 2.5-mile downhill run at Aspen. Now a low seat on the course itself. Let's watch the racers training. Christian Pravda of Austria coming through with a big leap. You say that you're still not clear as to what the downhill looks like? All right, you asked for it. Dick Durrance gives you a racer's view of the course. From the dam here, we turn down into Spar Gulch. These swings give the racers plenty of headaches. On to the Bell Mountain Traverse. Picking up speed through the draw. Along the cat road with maximum speed. Aiming straight at the notch of Niagara Falls now, watching the ice track under your skis. The big jump ahead. Oh, you don't think you'd care to shoot Niagara just yet? Okay, we'll pull off and let George do it. the finish was plenty rugged. Crowds gathered to watch these big-time racers in practice. Watching men like our friend Egon Schiff. Of course, a nice jump by a Swiss racer. Followed by... Guess he didn't quite make it. Here's Madman Ernie McCulloch from Canada. And Zeno Colo, our old friend from Italy. Of Austria fights the crystals. Jackie Reddish, Salt Lake City. These pint-sized snow burners don't scare easily in Aspen. Christian Pravda of Austria runs the practice course 10 times a day, all out. But these 4-year-olds want to get into it too. Now, wait a second, Joe. Let's think this thing over calmly. Okay, number 9 finally takes off. Ernie McCulloch is thinking it over too now as he takes off. Watch him. After his somersaults into the gully. Stand or fall, the boys come through. Jim Griffith of America, Zeno Colo again, Jackie Reddish. Yes, and 100 other racers, breaking the laws of speed and security as they test the tracks of Aspen Mountain. But skiers are a pretty carefree crew, even champions like Dagmar Rome. And the kleine Kinder of her native Innsbruck are no different from these kids in Aspen in America. Every skier's had this happen to him. All set now to crack the whip. Then for a little jumping practice. There's a good hill right down here a ways. Looks like some of the kids are dropping out of class. Here it is, just the place for a jump. Dagmar puts the finishing touches in the giant leap, and naturally, teacher goes first. Followed by the class. First you don't succeed, try and try and try again. Third time lucky as the midget champion makes it. Most of the foreign teams spent the first week at Aspen acquainting themselves with the courses before race week began. And on February the 13th, 1950, the 10th running of the FIS Alpine events got underway in Aspen, Colorado. The skiers of 14 nations marched up to the parade ground for the opening ceremony. Yes, there were more than 100 men and women representing Switzerland, Sweden, Norway, Yugoslavia, Italy, Holland, Great Britain, France, Finland, Canada, Austria, Chile, Argentina, and the United States. Four former FIS champions, Tony Zalos, James Coutet, Evie Pinching, and Sigmund Rue. President of the FIS, Colonel Esgård of Norway, welcoming the skiers. The 1950 ski championships were formally opened by the raising of the FIS flag. And now we reconstruct for you FIS week at Aspen. There are three tests of the FIS slalom, downhill, giant slalom. Chelina Zeghi of Italy, readying for the race. She'll compete against champions like Georgette Joliet of France. And Chelina starts down the giant slalom. Chelina Zeghi has been called the Tigress because of her determined and aggressive racing spirit, and she's well named. Rosemary Bloyer, downhill and slalom champion of Switzerland. Erika Maringer of Austria, holder of 2 Olympic medals. Another Austrian, Trudy Beiser, who won honors at the 1948 Winter Games. Lucien Schmidt of France. Dagmar Rome getting set. At the start. And she's off. Dagmar Rome skiing the giant slalom. Little Borghild Niskin of Norway doing an unexpected pinwheel. One of the best American girls is Katie Rudolph from Hayden, Colorado. In spite of that tumble, Katie placed 8th. Yeah, some of the girls have pretty bad luck. Coming in for a crash landing. But most of the girls make it all right. And there's the giant slalom run. The winner, Dagmar Rome of Austria. Now to the start of the men's giant slalom on a 1.5-mile course dropping around 1,500 feet. All set. Longines has brought special timing equipment. There's the bell. And the race begins. Carlo Gartner, another of Zeno Colo's teammates, coming down. The great Zeno Colo on the hill. Colo booming down. Followed by last year's Arlberg Kandahar winner, Georges Schneider of Switzerland. From Norway, Per Klipken. Oraye of France, Olympic downhill winner. Watch him. Bjarne Arons of Norway making a neat recovery. All through the February morning, the ski aces hurtle down the giant slalom at 1-minute intervals. Friendly foes like Tinemule of Yugoslavia and all the rest. Skiing with their old rivals from the Alps, the Andes, the Rockies, and the Apennines. Winner of the giant slalom, Zeno Colo of Italy. Next event, the regulation slalom for men. Some bets were on the Swiss. It was said Zeno Colo couldn't be beat, and the Austrians had a powerful squad. 40 gates, an 800-foot drop. The course set by Friedel Pfeiffer. Eddie Rominger of Switzerland walks up course. The great Stein Eriksen from Norway planning his line. America's Dean Perkins consults with coach Barney McLean. Ready all, and Rudy Graff of Switzerland is in the slot. And he's off on the first of 2 runs. There's high tension among the racers. Pentti Alonen of Finland seems pretty keyed up. Yes, keyed up to beat that clock. Åke Nilsson of Sweden booming down. Austria's Egon Schupp is a strong contender. He holds a 2-minute time record on the Marmolata over in Italy. Jean Pazzi of France won the North American downhill crown right here at Aspen back in 1949. America's outstanding racer, Jack Reddish. Jack got 6th place in the 1948 Olympic slalom. Christian Pravda, one of the most stylish skiers of the entire meet. Christian had an unlucky fall earlier on this same run. And Stein Eriksen of Oslo. Stein is the finest slalom racer Norway has ever produced. And the Norwegians are plenty happy. Stein's time is the fastest so far. But still, Zeno Colo is only 1/10 of a second behind. But what will Schneider, the Swiss champion, do? Here he comes. French and Swiss coaches are adding it all up. The Americans put their heads together. Jackie Reddish has 4th best time in this first run of the slalom. Second and final run now. Zeno Colo, a 1/10 of a second behind Eriksen. George Schneider here, a fraction behind Colo. World champion James Griffith had a slow first run, but this time it'll be different. There's tense silence as the second run is ready to begin. Griffith gunning the gates. It's a toss-up among 5 or 6 men now. Eriksen, Schneider, Colo, Reddish, maybe Griffith. Let's see how he does. A faster run, but Griffith probably won't be in the first 3. Here's Jackie Reddish in his final run of the slalom. At present, he's in 4th place, trailing Schneider. Can Reddish better his first run? Let's watch and see. He runs a beautiful race. All of the European coaches and champions agree that Reddish is perhaps the finest international class racer the United States has today. And his combined time is 1 minute, 24 seconds. Times to the fraction of a second. Christian Pravda again. His first run fall puts him out of the money. But on this second run, the mad Austrian turns in the fastest single run time of the day, 62 6/10 seconds. Now all eyes are on Stein Eriksen. Can he duplicate his first run and win the slalom for Norway? The Oslo boy looks plenty hot. Watch him now as he loses his grip on the ski pole and recovers without faltering. His combined time, 1:28, putting him ahead of both Reddish and Coutet. What can Schneider and Colo do? Let's watch the big Swiss ace first, George Schneider. He'll have to turn in at least a 64-second run to beat Stein Eriksen. And he does. Schneider leads with a combined time of 1:26 4/10. His friends gather around congratulating Schneider, but he's wondering if Zeno Colo can top him. Zeno will have to turn in a 63.5-second run. Can Zeno pull it off? No one skis harder than the Italian, but he loses the championship to George Schneider by less than 1/2 a second. The new slalom champions, Dagmar Rome, George Schneider. The FIS skiers at Aspen are relieved that the slalom is over. The downhill's coming up. But there's time for a few hours of fun at the heated swimming pool. Dagmar and Egon take a dip here. Lydia Gestrein of Austria mounts the diving tower to demonstrate a kind of swan dive. And Kalle Nergård of Norway just can't wait to get in that water. Here he goes, clothes and all. But it's okay, he's sanforized. Resting over, the next event now, the women's downhill race, 1 3/4 of a mile, an 1,800-foot drop. Everyone is wondering, can Dagmar Rome win her third FIS gold medal? The times will tell. Downhill is Chelina Zegi's specialty. Lucienne Schmidt of France, she won the Harriman Cup back in '49. Here she is on course. Sarah Thomasson of Sweden in the snowball. Trudy Weiser coming down in a very fast time. Georgette Joliet, who takes third in this downhill. All right, topside, it's Dagmar Rome's turn. All eyes are on the two-time winner. She's through the gate and on course. Dagmar coming in the snow bowl. But the American girls are plenty fast, too. Jeanette Burr of Seattle isn't using any brakes. Mademoiselle Suzanne Joliet. Katie Rudolph of Colorado speeding for the finish. She's top American with 5th place. Dagmar Rome got 9th. And the downhill winner, Trudy Weiser. Those two kids of hers at home will sure be proud. Saturday, February the 18th, 1950, Aspen, Colorado. Today, the main event, the men's downhill, 2.5 miles of steep, bumpy track dropping 2,700 feet. Yes, everybody is going down there to see the race. But a fellow we know next door is going up early with some of his friends. Gail Spence of America and the other racers head up to the start, 300 yards above midway. They swing aboard the lift. Desiree Lacroix of France arrives. See you after the race, girls. And Egon Schuff is right on time. Oraille of France looks a bit concerned. But Zeno Colo's not worried. He's all slicked up. All right, race time. Ready at the top. Ready down at the finish. 1,000 onlookers are waiting. And these two pals are ready any old time.
If you ask me, these skiers are crazy.
All set, and the men's downhill begins. Yves Letray of Canada jumping the dam. Bernhard Perrin of Switzerland on the dam. Watch this now. Francois Beau of France made 50 successful practice jumps in this section. But what'll the girlfriend think now? Bad luck. Woodcutter from Italy, Zeno Colo, ready to hit the hill. There he goes, and we'll follow him down the entire course. Zeno Colo approaching the dam. Coming over, lopsided, but cat-like, he's still in his feet. Colo going into Spar Gulch. Colo jumps over the notch of Niagara Falls and sweeps down across the bumps. Into Schuss Gully. And at last, Zeno Colo points for the finish line. Time, 2:34 and 4/10, the fastest yet recorded. Topside, Egon Schuff. He leaps the dam, a big one. Schuff in a long sweep down Niagara. Ernie McCulloch takes a header here. The camera in slow motion picks up Stein Eriksen pointing for Niagara. A tremendous leap here. He's traveling at a terrific clip. He's gambling on his speed now. Watch him as he comes over the transition, into the turn. And he goes down. Bad luck. That fall helps drop Stein Eriksen clear down to 27th place. Zeno Colo still ahead. Maybe Christian Pravda, who follows here, can beat the Italian, but it's not in the cards today. Pravda down Niagara, across the transition, and through the finish line with 5th best time. Mule of Yugoslavia. Eddie Rominger of Switzerland, from a famous skiing family. Panisset miscalculates and takes a spill. Yes, he's a pretty unhappy guy along about now. Marius Eriksen of Norway, down Niagara. And he's had it. Topside, Lacroix takes off. Followed by Albino Alverac of Italy. Freddie Ruby of Switzerland pours down Niagara. Ruby looking good in Schuss Gully. Canadian racer falls here. Replace your divots. The slalom winner, George Schneider of Switzerland in the downhill, coming down through Spar Gulch. Schneider aiming for the finish line to win 16th place. Norway's Björn Arends skids down through the finish gully, catches an edge, and hits the crystal. There are still some racers to come before all bets are down. Now Andy Tommy of Canada get off the track. Luckily, he wasn't hurt. Yes, out of the field of 58 racing this downhill at Aspen, 10 were disqualified or not able to finish. But the men who have run the difficult, exhausting downhill today will not soon forget Niagara, Spar, Bell Mountain, and the Dam. World champion of skiing, I guess you guessed it all along, Zeno Colo of Italy. With the crowds now to salute the new FIS World Champions of Skiing. Trudy Beisser, George Schneider, Zeno Colo, and Dagmar Rome. The FIS meet in Colorado is only one of the winter sports tourneys in which the youth of many nations compete. But like those, it has helped prove the point that when the men and women of many flags are united in ski sport, they're also joined by the bonds of friendship and goodwill.